20-11, some big boppers here. 20, the man.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
A big bopper?
What's a bop? Like kids use like bop?
No, not like that. Not like the trend going on. Like a big bopper is like a big brawler, like a heavyweight. Like
okay, all right,
God, dude, you're so on TikTok, it's insane.
Look, I got to keep up with the kids. Welcome to the opening bell of the NFL Stock Exchange podcast. Trevor, Sikkema, Connor Rogers here for a very special edition of the show. I feel like I say that a lot, but I really do mean it for this episode.
We have a lot of special shows.
We do have a lot of special shows. It's just a fact. Facts.
Things right
It
here.
is. It is. We do cool stuff. I don't know what to tell you guys. You picked the right podcast to listen to. Today, we were talking about our early big boards, our first big boards, really, for the 2026 NFL Draft. It has been a summer filled with summer scouting, as it always is. We went down a lot of the positions, didn't get to every single position, but linebacker, interior offensive line, safeties, you guys will get some love here on this show as there are players from all those positions that we have here in our top 50s. Last year we kind of tried to like combine them for like a show big board. This year we're giving you guys our top 50s. I feel like it's more pure that way. My initial top 50, Connor's initial top 50. Connor, how you doing, my friend? On this special show, how are you doing?
What a special day today is. Big board day, man. This has been a lot of fun putting this together. And, a really cool aspect of this as well, not a ton, but a couple more names added that we might have missed when we did summer scouting for each of us. You watched some guys I didn't get to watch. I watched some guys you didn't get to watch. And then there's some names out there that get on your radar late, or you watched a guy that might have a spring grade that's a 6th round grade, and you're like, I don't agree with this at all. He might be a 2nd rounder or whatever it may be. So this is always a lot of fun to watch these big boards change, grow. One day for fun when we have more time, and that is not now because football's here. We should go back and watch one of our big board shows from this time of year. Like, and that's more of a summer project when we're messing around, or even spring. It would be really funny just because things change, man. Like, that's the NFL draft. You might have a guy ranked a certain way and then he significantly outperforms that projection or doesn't have the year he was hoping for. So it would be fun to kind of look back at it.
We could do that either in the summer or even maybe do it if we have time. It's really busy right before the draft, but I feel like it would be kind of fun to do like right before the draft, look at our initial big board episode. But either way, I do like that. This show has been around, what are we on, year 3 now? 4?
I think it's got to be 4.
Is it 4? Man,
I mean, this is the 3rd studio I've had since we started this show. Like, I don't move that much.
I think for me too, right? I mean, like I started out, I was in Cincinnati for it, and then I came back to Charlotte, and then we moved into a new place. So yeah, I mean, it's got to be 4. But the reason why I said that is because now we have enough of those where, like, even if we wanted to go back a couple of years and have some fun really looking back, especially as guys that started their NFL careers, that would be fun. I can't wait for oh man, who's the tight end for LSU? Arik Gilbert. Can't wait to see the Arik Gilbert love.
7 different schools. Sure, go with the one of your choosing.
He's the Josh Johnson of the NCAA with all the schools.
He's a show legend. He shows up in the comment section every few episodes. I notice people love to bring him up. Which, by the way, I was laughing before we even sat down to do this show. I was texting you. It's me and you got a lot going on right now as we get ready for both the college and NFL seasons in full swing, and we're figuring out, of course, the day of what time we actually want to record. And you're like, yeah, I'll be good tonight. Right now, I'm installing a TV at my father-in-law's, and I was like, that is a situation no man wants to find himself in.
I think your text was literally the situation that every man fears.
Yes.
Thankfully, my father-in-law is extremely handy.
Yeah,
so
it goes a long way.
Not only has he like taught me like
you
the
learned
best
a thing or two
ways to actually mount the TV, but like we've even installed fans. Like we're doing basically everything. So it's not nearly as bad. It was an outdoor TV, so it's very nice. We're getting ready for the nice weather here in Charlotte. I know that you guys are in Upper New York as well. Wait. you guys technically aren't upper New York. You're
No.
upper New York the way that I think of it, which is
The way the
like
world
New York
does.
City.
If
Right.
you're not in Manhattan, you live upstate. Even if
That
you're
that is 100%.
It is.
Where I tell people you live.
it drives me totally insane because New York is massive. It is such a big state, and I could take a 35-minute train into the city. But nope,
True.
you live upstate now. You live in the Arctic.
How far are you from Buffalo?
Buffalo is about a 7-hour drive.
Holy cow.
Buffalo is
New York is big.
You could throw a rock from Buffalo into Canada. So that's
Some people
very, very. That's some people could do it.
And gotten arrested.
Michael Penix could do it.
He could do it. True.
Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen could do it. What quarterbacks could throw a rock from Niagara Falls to the city of Toronto?
This is actually a really good, for the people who go, hey, the football talk starts here.
Well, here's
You're
your football talk.
You're gonna miss the references because now when we talk about quarterback arm strength, something we are going to very nonchalant do here on the show is we're gonna be like, he can throw a rock from Buffalo, New York to Canada. And
you're not gonna know.
And the people, the true addicts are gonna know that means they got NFL level arm strength. And if you're missing it, you're gonna be like, wait, is that a long way? I don't know. Buffalo's kind of close to Canada. I don't get the reference. So,
Yeah, and they're all going to get to laugh together, and you're going to be like, well, I skipped the first 9 minutes and 21 seconds of every show, so I didn't get the joke, and now I have to go skim through every show to find it, and yeah. Like, come on now, folks. Great piece of advice from you, by the way, to marry someone with a dad that is really handy, even if you are really handy. Like, I like to think of myself as somebody that is relatively capable. My father-in-law did that for a living for a very long time. So when we are in a panic, it's an instant text of, hey, what the hell is what am I looking at right now? You're up in the attic in 120 degrees and you're looking at a pipe that you don't know what it is, and you send the picture of like, hey brother, bail me out here. What is
it? Is hilarious because Alyssa and I have actually had like points of contention, some joking, some not as much joking, of like, if I don't know how to do something, she'll be like, my dad knows how to do it. And I'll be like, I don't want to hear that.
Women love
I don't want to hear that.
Yeah,
don't want to hear
it. They will dunk on you any chance they can.
But you know what? It is a luxury. It is. So, you know what? If you put your pride aside, you can learn a lot of really great things. And that is the ultimate lesson there for anybody that's got a father-in-law or mother-in-law that is very handy. You know?
Yes, absolutely. What a special show this is.
What a special show it truly is.
I'm glad you're all tuning into this one specifically.
We're gonna give you our top 50s, but at the end of the show, I know we say this with like positional rankings, but we are gonna shout out some of the players who just missed the top 50 because even more so in the big board episode than the positional rankings, it really starts to get pretty razor thin, especially when you're talking about completely different positions. So there's guys that are right outside of the top 50 that you go like, yeah, I mean, of course, like I consider this guy right in this tier of being a fringe top 50 type of a player going into this season. At the end of this, I'll sort of talk about some of the early, first round top 10 grades that I have, how many, sort of what this class looks like. And yeah, we'll have a lot of fun on this show. So I'll let you kick it off. You will go. We'll go in increments of 10, so 50 to 41, and then like we do for the positional rankings, we'll kind of talk about these players and sort of why they either made your list. It could be good or bad, right? You could be like, hey, this guy is somebody who you might hear in top 20s, top 10s, things like that. I'm a little bit lower on him, or it might be a player that you're really trying to champion early on. Go ahead, 50 to 41. Who you got?
All right, 50. Nicholas Singleton, the running back for Penn State. He just made the list for me here. 49, Emil Wagner, the offensive lineman for Notre Dame. Yeah, I liked Wagner a lot this summer, and that's definitely projecting a pretty big jump in physical strength and ability, compared also on the fact that he's a young player and pretty big role he'll have again this year. 48, another guy that's going to take on a bigger role. That's Max Llewellyn, the pass rusher from Iowa. He has been kind of a situational player, a very good one, and now he has the chance to turn into even more. 47, a player that I think most people are higher on than me. There's just a lot of leaps I want to see this year. That's Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback now at Indiana.
Okay.
So, we had a long combo about Mendoza in our first summer scouting show of the year. I haven't really changed my stance too much on him since then. 46, that was literally months ago, which is wild. 46, Darrell Jackson Jr., the defensive lineman for Florida State. He is a lot of fun to watch. This was somebody that really impressed me on tape. And 45, another defensive lineman here in Tim Keenan, the third from Alabama.
Ooh, you got
I like Keenan a lot. I haven't seen Keenan get that kind of love from anybody. Hey, if Alfred Collins goes as early as he does and Tyleik Williams goes as early as he does, I think Tim Keenan might be a little bit limited in terms of what he's going to give you every down, but I know exactly what the heck he gives you those early downs as a guy that controls the line of scrimmage.
Did you see he had ankle surgery like 2 days ago?
How is it a tightrope?
I think it was because it was I read that it was like a high ankle sprain, and so if you have surgery for a high ankle sprain, it's probably a tightrope surgery. So I think he's gonna miss like the first 4 weeks.
The really notable one I remember is Amarius Mims having that in his final season.
Yep.
It is something that you can come back from within a month, but it is something too that it's tricky. Like you're going to deal with some pain tolerance and things. So yeah, so Keenan, hopefully he comes back when they're playing their most important football and he continues to show what he put on tape last year. 44, Trevor, somebody I had on my list for the show, and I might have even dropped his name because they have a really good wide receiver room in general, but I didn't rank him for the wide receiver show. Chris Bell from Louisville.
Oh, so I also did not watch Chris Bell for the wide receiver show. Shout out to Dane Brugler. Dane had Chris Bell really high. I don't remember where.
Maybe even top 30?
He was. Yeah. So full transparency, like I will read people's work because I respect a ton of people in this industry and I love reading draft work. But what I do is I have tried to form my own opinion first, right? Like
exactly.
Sometimes
you don't want any bias or any, yeah.
I was just going to say, like, sometimes you can't control it, right? Sometimes you'll read a tweet or an article or something.
Tweet it out. They're like, this player was number 20, and you're like, oh, there it goes. Cat's out of the bag now.
Right.
I can't cover the draft this year.
So I love reading Dane's work, but I always sort of wait until we get done with summer scouting before I dig into it. And I saw Chris Bell, and I was like, dude, I haven't even heard anybody talk about Chris Bell. And I watched him, and yeah, an athletic freak. I mean, this is the dude.
Size and speed.
That if you gravitate towards athletes, what you just said, that size speed combination, he's got one of, if not the best size and speed combinations of any of these wide receivers in this class. We talked about it when we went through the wide receiver episode. There's not like this, like there's not a Jeremiah Smith, right? I mean, like there's not like a bona fide wide receiver one type of a player, or even like a class where you might have a couple of those guys. And so I can understand liking Bell enough in this class to really lean into those traits. He is 81st on my big board. So just to let you guys know, my big board right now, all 255 players is up on pff.com, and you can use it in the mock draft simulator. So don't go look at it now. Obviously, don't spoil the episode as we're going through it. But after that, just to let you know, if you want to do more research or if you didn't hear us talk about a certain guy, my big board is up on pff.com, and you guys can see that and use the mock draft simulator for it. So I had Bell at 81 overall right now, and I can see the potential for him.
Yeah.
He just is like, he's unpolished as a player, and I feel like he had a lot of really good focus plays and determined plays when he was getting the ball, not as much when he wasn't. And so, yeah, I think that he is a high potential player, but I can understand you having him in your top 50.
Yeah, it's not crazy. He has some really big grades from teams going into the season. When I say really big, I'm not talking about, top 15 pick, but there's some expectations for him. I liked watching, obviously, the highs of his game are very, very exciting, as you said, Trevor. So we'll see what he could do this year. 43, DJ McKinney, the corner from Colorado. 42, Eric Singleton Jr., the speedy wide receiver, now at Auburn, transferred from Georgia Tech. And then 41, we didn't do linebackers, so it'll be fun. You got to hear about some linebackers today. 41, Anthony Hill Jr., the big linebacker for Texas.
Is he your LB1?
No.
Oh, so you do.
He's my LB3.
Whoa. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched, not the amount of players that we would for summer scouting, but I watched a couple linebackers, and I was like, damn. kind of wish we got to him. We're going to be talking because it really hasn't been great for a while in terms of volume. This year, I was like, there's like 5 guys I'm pretty excited to talk about right now.
So can we talk a little bit about Anthony Hill Jr.?
I don't want it.
Okay. All right, great. So my top 50, no. So let's talk about Anthony Hill Jr., the linebacker at Texas, because I have him at 43. Where did you have him?
Oh, really close. I had him at 41.
Yeah, so I had him at 43. We see him pretty similarly. I think that this is a, early second round type of a linebacker, at least from the tape that we saw last year and what I'm sort of projecting that he could be this year. He is a true junior this year. He's 6'3", 237 pounds. I think he can play a lot of different positions, but I certainly think he can play Mike for you. He's got a track background to him, which you love to see. Won an undefeated state title in 2020 as a junior, I believe. He's the green dot player for Texas, which means he's getting the defensive calls. He's communicating. He's doing all that great stuff. But here, my scouting summary for him is Hill Jr.'s underclassman tape is very impressive. His communication, recognition, and anticipation project to a starting NFL middle linebacker role. His change of direction and fluidity and agility aren't his standout traits, but his awareness makes up for that lack of a half step that he could maybe get if he was a little bit quicker. He has plus arm length, is a solid tackler, but he just needs some more impactful plays in coverage to be a surefire top 50 type of a player. So
I think we see him exactly the same. You brought up the resume already. I mean, he's appeared in 30 games already. And he's only a true junior. That's
big deal.
Freaking nuts. So kind of tells you what they think of him from a responsibility aspect and mental capacity aspect. Big guy, big body. Really kind of what you want your linebackers to look like at the position. Production's really jumped out. What do you have, 17 TFLs last year? I mean, dude, he mastered the peanut punch, by the way. This man.
He's high football IQ player.
It is precise. He's a sniper with the peanut punch. There are just times where he knows, okay, I can kind of rear back and throw my haymaker here and knock the ball out. He's excellent at that. Like you said, there's some moments in coverage where he's a bigger linebacker and teams will try to capitalize on that matchup in space. So that's the one area where, like, if you're going to be a linebacker in the first round, you basically have to be a machine. That you have no weakness, and you almost have to help a little bit as a rusher. I'd like to see the coverage improve a little bit this year.
Yep. So I like him. So I knew we'd talk a little bit more in depth about linebackers than we did for other positions. Obviously, guys, if you want us to dive a little bit deeper on all of these players, you can go back and listen to the positional previews that we did on a lot of these guys, because we do spend a lot of time diving pretty deep into them there. So did you get to 41? Or
41 was him.
Okay, so he was 41 for you. Anybody else that you kind of just that maybe we were going a little quick over that list? Anybody that you just wanted to shout out? You did a good job, obviously, highlighting the 10 guys already, but anything else to say before I get to my first 10?
I mean, real quick, why I have Nicholas Singleton as a running back in the top 50 when this running back class doesn't have crazy expectations. I think there is a world where he has the straight line speed, the size, some explosive ability, to get himself into that round 2 running back conversation. So that's how he was the last guy to make the cut. But yeah, I think I've highlighted everybody else pretty in depth on here or on those specific shows.
Who do you feel best about? Because I love this group of 10, because I'll be honest, like, there's a couple of guys that you have in your 50, and to be honest with everybody, like, I've had to watch way more players this summer than you. So the number of players that I might have in between certain, players is just going to be more vast than you. But, like, there are a handful of players that I have, like, not even in my top 100 that you have top 50, but, like, that's the that's the time of year for it, right? You lean on different things. Do you trust more of the tape that you saw? Are you leaning into physical traits, athletic traits? Are you betting on the upside? Like, it's always very fun to hear sort of where each analyst plants their flag a little bit at the beginning of the year as guys that they feel good about. But is there a guy within that 10 specifically that you go, man, he is my guy. I just feel good about him being in this top 50.
Yeah, the 2 defensive tackles in Keenan and Darrell Jackson Jr. I just love what they bring to your program from day one. They're gargantuan, like, they're massive human beings. Jackson's got these vines for arms. Obviously, Keenan has all this mass. They're very strong. They play a really, really gritty brand of football. They try to control your line of scrimmages. They don't take plays off. I think they're two guys that should have a pretty good chance to stick in the top 75 throughout the year. I know you brought up, Keenan's going to have a slow start, of course, because of the injury. But, yeah, the rest of the guys here are pretty big projections besides Hill. Like, Llewellyn needs to be take on a bigger role. Wagner needs to get bigger and stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Mendoza needs to eliminate some of the boneheaded decisions. So, yeah, I like the defensive tackles a lot back-to-back at 45 and Tim Keenan in the third and 46 Darrell Jackson Jr. for Florida State.
When we went over the positions, it's not a surprise. Like, a couple of the guys that you have in your top 50 there, like, we've already talked about. Like, I didn't see just the same way, whether it was I was judging really off of what they've been or what they could be, like Llewellyn and who is it? Llewellyn and
I don't think
Wagner.
You loved Wagner. Yeah.
No, I think those guys were the lowest that I have because those guys were like 140 and like 150-ish for me. And then Darrell Jackson Jr., I have fringe top 100. I have him 103. I have Eric Singleton at 99. I have him as a fringe 100 guy. I know a lot of people love Singleton. I get a little bit scared of the gadgety guys that I wonder if they're strong enough. And I kind of wonder that with Singleton, but we will get to see in the SEC. For Mendoza, for me, is 92.
Yeah, I don't think that. He definitely got a quarterback curve from me.
Yeah.
And like he is 47th on my big board because he's a quarterback with the chance to rise. He is not, I would say, definitively the 47th best prospect in this draft right now.
And it's tough. Quarterbacks are always tough, right? Because if you believe in him, then it's almost like hard to not put them top 50 or top 20 or whatever it is. So what I'm trying to do to combat that a little bit and to make things over at PFF.com, certainly, and also, of course, here on this channel, as nuanced as possible throughout the draft season, we're going to have 3 different big boards that are live on PFF.com. I think for most of the season, there's going to be 2 that are at least live for most of the season. One of them, it might take me a little bit of time to get this out, but it'll eventually be out. One is going to be my pure big board. Like what I think of these prospects, where I have them ranked, sort of what we're talking about in this show, that's going to be on there that you guys can view. The other one is going to be a PFF predictive big board. So I'm only going to have players on my big board that I have ranked and watched. So I have 255 guys, but on the PFF predictive board, I'm going to have over 400. Like there's going to be guys from the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl watch lists, some upperclassmen that I know that are going to be in this class that I just haven't got to, but we want to give you a chance to draft those players. So a lot of them, they're going to be day 3 guys anyways, at least their projections are to start. So that'll be in there and that'll be more of a predictive big board. I'll change the order for how I think the mock draft simulator should operate, even independent of what I think of these guys. And then another one, the reason why I'm bringing this up is I'm going to try to have a positional value big board. And I'm going to take the formula that we have for PFF's wins above average metric for positions in production, and I'm going to create what will be this positional big board. And I think it's going to be fun to kind of revisit that throughout the season. So I think it was a good by you to sort of bring that up, that quarterback curve, because I think it's very real. And it's something that's really tough to have a consistent conversation about.
Right.
And one that I'm trying to do at PFF and certainly on this show as well.
Yeah, I take a pretty firm stance before the draft. If I don't think a quarterback is going to be that guy, I would you don't get the curve that you get in the summer.
Sure. Right.
There's a much more projection-based curve going on in the summer where, like Desmond Ridder that's a random one to throw out. I didn't like Desmond Ridder at all, and I didn't just throw him in the top 60. I'm way lower than that just because I was like, it's just not my guy. But I've missed on guys like that before too. But that's the game.
Quarterback is so hard, man. It's so hard. Yeah. It's such a fit and how they process things and being the leader of the team and being the face of the franchise. And there's just.
Well, it's funny. Someone at NBC the other day was like, who do you think is going to end up being the best quarterback from that? Because we were talking about how Kenny Pickett's traded every 4 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, Brock Purdy. And they looked at me. They're like, oh, my God. It's definitively Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I forgot that Purdy was in that class. Yeah, it's not even close, Brock Purdy.
But it's funny because now I have to read the quarterbacks taken.
Yeah. Who else is in that draft? I mean, no question, it's Brock Purdy at this point. But
yeah, but I'm going to go through the quarterbacks. So that was 2020.
22, right?
22. So they went in this order: Pickett, Ritter, Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Bailey Zappi, Sam Howell, Chris Olodokun, Skylar Thompson, Brock Purdy.
Dude.
I mean, is that out wild?
I mean, number 2 is Howell?
Yeah, because Howell actually had.
I mean, Willis kind of looks good when he comes in.
Willis could have a really long career as a backup, which is a giant win for him in that class. But it is nuts when you think about it. Like,
that's tough. Pickett just got traded. Desmond Ridder just got cut. Matt Corral's not in the league. Sam Howell's on like his 3rd or 4th team. Willis is on his 2nd team. And Brock Purdy's a franchise quarterback making millions and millions and millions.
Yeah, Ritter's now not on a roster.
No.
You're right. Yeah, it's good for Brock Purdy, man. It's funny with Brock, and a lot of people know this, but 2 years before that draft, there was a lot of hype for, like, expectations for him. People were like, Brock Purdy's got all the talent, and he just didn't finish college those last 2 years as strong as people liked, and he figured it out in the NFL. So it's amazing.
He is one of those guys where, I mean, it took me a long time to buy into Brock Purdy because he is just not super physically gifted. And there's just not a lot of quarterbacks that make it in the NFL. There's not a lot of players that make it in the NFL.
Right.
That are very below average when it comes to physical gifts, whether it's height, whether it's weight, whether it's strength, whether it's speed, whether it's like arm strength, like agility, bend, twitch, whatever it is. When what you need to do at whatever position you're at, you are below average at that physically in the things you can't teach. It's so hard for me to bet on you. And Brock Purdy does not have the physical gifts, but my goodness, that kid's got confidence. He's got accuracy. He's got touch. And he anticipates so well. So you got to give him his credit for that. All right. 50 to 41 for me. 50. I got Caleb Tiernan, the massive offensive tackle from Northwestern, the guy with one of the best pass blocking grades that we had in college football last year. Number 49, I got Carnell Tate, the wide receiver from Ohio State, somebody who, when we talked about the wide receiver episode, he was somebody I was just like, God, I even wanted to see more from him because I know he's got it in him. And I think him sneaking into my top 50 here is me still really holding on to thinking this is going to be a great year for Carnell Tate. Kamari Ramsey, the safety from USC, I have him at number 48. Somebody who I love his instincts. Now, he still had some plays last year where he was very up and down. He was a very high variance player, but the highs, the good plays, the good games, man, it was good stuff. And I think that he's got a lot of versatility to play as a coverage safety, as a box defender, as a nickel defender at times. I think he could do it all. So I really like Kamari Ramsey. And from what I've heard of the people who have, either been a part of recruiting him over the years or, people around that program, they speak very highly of him. And I think that means a lot for somebody on that back end to have that sort of leadership and that character. Elijah Surratt, the wide receiver from Indiana, the contested catch monster. Have him at number 47 here. Number 46, a very different wide receiver, and that's why I had these guys back to back. It was hard for me to really parse them out differently. Deion Burks, somebody who I am a big fan of. We talk about these kind of gadget guys. Who is Eric Rivers for you? Eric Singleton is another one that a lot of people like. Zachariah Branch. There's a lot of these smaller wide receivers that are sort of these slot-specific wide receivers. I guess like Casey Concepcion he's kind of in that conversation, but he's a little bit more of a running back mixed into that as well. Give me Deion Burks. Give me him. And the reason why I like him above these other guys, he's maybe not as polished of a route runner as some of these other players. He still gets those schemed up, gadgety touches. I understand it. Malachi Corley, PTSD. Sorry to bring up his name, Connor.
Oof,
but I do think
pick.
That Deion Burks, when you talk about the weight room numbers that this guy has, how strong of a football player he is, that's like pound for pound. I want you to be extremely strong if you are a slot receiver of that type. So I think he's got that explosiveness. And if he just works on the nuances of route running, I think we can have something special here. 45. I got your boy Cassius Howell. He's in your top 50, right?
Oh, you betcha.
Okay. All right.
Dude,
all right. Okay. So I remember going through the edge rusher episode, and I was much lower on Cassius Howell, the edge rusher from Texas A&M. And the reason why is because I was like, when I watched him, I felt like he was a little bit stiff. I felt like he was a little hesitant to attack the outside shoulder consistently, even with a really good inside spin move. And I wondered if that was like, man, do you just not think you're fast enough? Do you not think that you have the bend? But he brings a lot to the table. He's got those powerful hands, that powerful pop at contact. The hands are always working. He's always trying to get clean. The two-handed swipe is very nice from him. He's got a good long arm, and that inside spin move is nasty. So this is somebody who had an elite 91.6 pass rush grade last season, above 19% pass rush win percentage. He deserved to be in this top 50 after I watched a couple more games of him when we chatted for our edge rush episode. So I got him at 45. Teo Johnson, the safety from Utah, have him at number 44. Just a damn good athlete. Built like an NFL safety, needs to gain some weight. I'd love to see him gain 10 pounds, but if he does, and he still has that sort of track background athleticism to him, ran a 10.82 100-meter dash when he was in high school. And if we go off of the Twitter scale that I tweeted out not long ago, I think that something sub 11 is very fast, not quite stupid fast, but very fast. And you love to have that on the back end, especially for a guy who has as much single high safety experience as he does. I think he's a big play type of a dude. Anthony Hill Jr. from Texas is at 43. Antonio Williams, the wide receiver from Clemson, I have him at 42. And then my LB1, I have Torian York at 41.
Okay.
Where do you have?
He's not in my top 50, but he's one of the 5. When I said there's 5 linebackers that I was really excited to talk about, he was in the 5.
Torian's awesome, man. I get it. He is smaller. Let me get the measurements here for Torian York, which he is also a true junior. He's at Texas A&M. He's been starting since his true freshman season for 2 different coaching staffs now with Jimbo Fisher and with Mike Elko. So he is 6 feet tall, 230 pounds. It's 8th percentile and 14th percentile for the linebacker position in the NFL. His coverage stuff, still a work in progress. He's much more of a downhill type of a linebacker, but my goodness, is he ever a great downhill linebacker? Somebody who knows how to sift through chaos, get through blocks, get to the line of scrimmage, get in the backfield, do it with urgency, communicate things, anticipate things really well. When you go watch that Texas game specifically, and I loved watching the Texas game from Torian York, and the reason why is because he was a Texas fan growing up. He wanted to play for Texas, and they did not recruit him at all. And so when he plays Texas, that's like a rivalry game. We've talked about it before on this podcast, whether it's for the final evals or whether it's for summer scouting. We love watching guys in big games, conference titles, national championships, college football playoffs, but also rivalry games, rivalry week. And the weeks, like if you transfer to another school and you play that school, I want to see how you played. When you grow up as a fan of a team and they didn't recruit you, I want to see how you played. And he had his best game of the season, which is saying something because he's a very consistent player, against Texas. There was a play specifically against Texas where they threw a swing pass into the flat, and Torian York is running to tackle the running back basically before the ball is snapped. Like he is taking off exactly to where he knows the running back is going to be because this guy is that big of a film junkie. He wants to be great, not just physically, but also how to mentally prepare to be the best linebacker he can. They rave about who he is as a leader. The defense continuously looks at him despite him being an underclassman over the last couple of years. I get it. He's undersized, and we need to see more in coverage from him for him to be a top 50 type of linebacker. But I love what this dude is made of. I love his football IQ and his DNA. I think he's a stud.
Really fun film. He is really small. I'm fascinated to see what he comes in at because I didn't have verified measurements of him either, which was interesting. I just had what the internet says, which ranges from 5'10" to 6 feet tall to, like you said, somewhere 230 and below. But there are some smaller linebackers in the NFL that, have been really, really standout players that the league they don't write you off if you're undersized. You just got to have the instincts and the athleticism to thrive. He's the only linebacker in the top 50.
Well, no, I had Anthony Hill Jr.
Okay. I'm 43. Still surprised.
Those 2 linebackers. Yeah.
But it goes to show you this is a good linebacker class that we're going to go through.
How many other linebackers?
4 or 5 different names.
100. I have one that just missed my top 50. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 more in my top 100. And then there's a 7th and 8th and a 9th that are like 112.
Yeah, it's a good looking group. Really good looking group.
There's a lot of fun guys in this class. Okay, 40-31.
So 2 players right off the top that you just mentioned. 40, Kamari Ramsey, the safety from USC, playmaker. Liked watching him. 39, Caleb Tiernan, the offensive lineman from Northwestern. Really happy that you had him in the top 50 as well, because with his lack of arm length, we don't know what he's going to be at the next level, but he's a damn good football player. A really clean prospect on the offensive line, and that should mean something. 38, my linebacker 2, Sonny Styles on Ohio State, who in 2023 was a safety. So it kind of goes back to your York conversation right now of a guy like this is a guy that has been transitioning into being a real linebacker, but that kind of athleticism and range shows up in Styles' game. 37, I have Lenore Sellers, the quarterback from South Carolina at 37. What? You do too?
I have him 38.
Yep. You and I are really bad.
Oh, that is bullshit. Of all of the places that you could have put, of all the places that you could put
Lenore Sellers,
you can put Lenore Sellers at 115, and you could put him at 5, and somebody out there would agree with you on both of those things, and we have him 1 ranking apart.
That is unbelievable.
That's chemistry, folks.
I mean, he was the first player in this entire draft class that you and I texted about. Literally during summer scouting, when we were getting ready for the quarterback show, we talked about Sellers and how he is definitely further away than many want to, make you believe, but he also has physical ability that is easy to buy into, why he can make the jump. 36, Damani Jackson, the corner from Alabama, who I thought, after being slightly disappointing at USC or just not living up to the crazy hype, was oddly quietly very good last year. I was like, oh, these are all the things that I wanted to see from you. The first time I watched you for summer scouting, you're starting to figure it out at Alabama. With how talented that defense is, I'm in on Damani Jackson this year. 35, now you're starting to feel like the quarterbacks that could be risers range because they're loaded with talent. 35 is John Mateer, the quarterback from now at Oklahoma. So you're a little surprised.
No, yeah. I mean, well, look, it's that time of year, right? I mean, you're going to look at a lot. There's going to be a lot of quarterbacks in the top 50, and I understand.
This is right where I had him during summer scouting. He was right ahead of Sellers. So
right, and I think that you had him a little higher than I did anyway, so I shouldn't be too shocked. There's a lot of people out there that love John Mateer, and I would love for him to be good because he's going to be fun. That Oklahoma team's going to be fun as hell if he is good.
Yeah, they have a lot of guys that are, like, even going back to your boy, R. Mason Thomas, as much as I was obviously lower on him than you, he's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. The wide receiver, Nick Anderson, like they have players that you watch them and you're like, oh man, they do some things that not a lot of they do some things that not a lot of guys could do. Jaden Knott is a perfect example. Jaden Knott's like, you blink and he's gone. So, but it's all about all of these guys finding consistency as well. So, yeah, they are such an interesting team, and obviously Nick Anderson is at LSU now, but he's, when you watch his tape.
Oh, right. Yeah. I forgot that I was thinking of him at Oklahoma. Right.
Cause went through my brain. I'm like, him and Burks aren't both in this offense. That'd be insane. So yeah, I mean, he's at LSU now. Okay. So Mateer was 35, 34. You know how much I love him. Eric Rivers. Yes. Small wide receiver at Georgia Tech, but I don't know. There's just something different about this dude.
Standing on the table, baby.
Yeah.
Playing your guys.
I think he is so freakish in the way he gets off the line of scrimmage that he actually could beat people over the top from the outside. And not a lot of guys that size could do that. I think he could do it. 33, continuing the trend. There's this bucket of Sellers, Mateer, and Drew Aller for me, the quarterback at Penn State. Aller has developed a lot since we first talked about him on summer scouting a few years ago. He still needs to play better in the big games this year because it is a giant, cloud over his scouting report right now, where it's like, when I watch the tape of you against Ohio State, I want to see the guy that I watched 3 weeks before that. So Aller, I didn't have him in my top 30, but he's right there at 33. 32, a player that I liked during summer scouting and even grew on me more over the summer because I went back and watched him again because there's really big expectations. Caleb Lamu, one of the offensive tackles from Utah, where it was, you know how much we loved Spencer Fano, where I think I loved Fano so much that I had this weird reservation to put Lamu so high. And then after we had the conversation about it, I went and watched him again. I was like, no, I think they're both just great. So Lamu ends up higher for me here than he even was on my tackle rankings. And 30
Lamu or Lomu, do you know?
Lomu sounds better.
Okay.
That sounds better.
Yeah.
31, Mekhi Lemon, the wide receiver at USC.
My boy.
Yes.
My
your
boy.
guy.
Mekhi
Your
Lemon.
guy.
Wide receiver one, baby. We know we'll get to him. Number 40. Speaking of the Oklahoma Sooners, I got Jaden Ott. At number 40. Yeah. Yeah. I think it is so funny how you were really high on Jaden Ott. Was it last summer? I think it was last summer for summer scouting. And I was like,
the Cal version.
I don't know.
I've kind of jumped off the bandwagon just because I just worry about his body.
We will see. I think his processing is awesome. Like, I think the way that he sets guys up, I think the way that he makes you miss in space when he is fully healthy. Now, obviously, that's an if, and it's always a dangerous if with the running back position. But I think he can do it all. I think he's a 3-down back. I think he can bounce off of contact. I think he can make you miss in open space. I think he's got home run speed to him. And I think he's got good hands in the receiving game as well. So I'm a big Jaden Ott fan. I hope we get him fully healthy this year because I really do think that him and Mateer could be a lot of fun. I hope that Oklahoma offensive line is a lot better than it was last year, because if it is, I think it's going to be a pretty electric offense. But we will see. The college guys, Max and Dalton, they're kind of skeptical about that. We will see. 39, I have Georgia defensive tackle Christian Miller. You talk about a guy who you just know what you're getting. I mean, he's a great run defender, and maybe he'll give you some good pass rush reps. But even at that point, I mean, he's somebody that you can go out there and you're not afraid to throw in an NFL rotation even right now as an underclassman last year and now draft eligible this year. So have him at 39. Lenore Sellers, I mentioned the quarterback from South Carolina, I have him 38. If you guys want to hear all our thoughts in depth on a lot of these quarterbacks, obviously you can go back and watch the quarterback episode. 37, I have Dalen Everett, the cornerback from Georgia. This is another guy who I just think is really solid. And I remember watching Dalen Everett last year because he was draft eligible last year. And I was watching him sort of as we were coming up to the declaration date to, go back to college or to get in the draft pool. And I was like, I think this guy gets drafted top 75 if he declares. And then he didn't. So we'll end up seeing what happens this year. But I think he can do it all. He's one of those man coverage type of corner guys. He can play press. He likes to get his hands on you. He's got that length. He's got that overall athleticism. He doesn't have a ton of ball production, if I remember correctly, but I think that's just because he covers really
He does.
well.
Very sticky. He's a just miss guy for me. Like he might be 53 on my board if it was bigger.
So that's sort of the same conversation then. Charles Jagusaw, the offensive lineman, I guess I will say, from Notre Dame, who we talked about on the offensive tackle episode. I like him a lot. I've got him now at number 36. Somebody who missed all but 2 games last year, played both guard and tackle in those last 2 games in Notre Dame's college football playoff run. And then this year had the ATV accident this summer where he broke his arm. And I actually haven't looked up what his timetable is to get back out onto the field, but I don't think he's going to play offensive tackle now because they've got Wagner and they've got the other guy that they love at offensive tackle. He's a younger guy. I can't remember his name, but Jagusaw now would have probably played guard anyways just to get the best 5 out there. But I genuinely think this guy's got NFL starting abilities at guard and tackle. So I do like him a lot, even though there's unfortunate injury unknowns now with him in back-to-back seasons. Big Citrus.
Hell yeah.
Comes in at number 35 here on the rankings, defensive tackle from Iowa State. Joshua Joseph, the edge rusher from Tennessee. Freaky, traitsy type of an edge rusher, man. And even as just a designated pass rusher, like that is deadly. What he is able to do, really high pass rush win percentage last year, really high PFF pass rush grades. Big fan of his potential. I hope he can kind of put it all together and round out his game as a run defender as well. But I got him at number 34. Jake Slaughter, the center from University of Florida, Gator Great. I've got him here at number 33. I think the Slaughter's fantastic, man. I think he's got a case to be the top center in this class. I don't have him as a top center in this class. Spoiler alert.
There's a good one.
I think he is a really talented player, especially for a zone blocking scheme. He runs, I think he moves very well. He processes things really well. Slaughter is somebody who could absolutely be that. I don't think for centers it's tough to be a first round pick, but somebody who is absolutely going to be in that second round conversation as a future NFL starter. I think that Slaughter has put that tape out there already. 32, I have Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon. We talked about him in the tight end episode, what we did last week, and it's just, man, crazy athlete. Like, it's just hard to not love the potential that this guy has. And now with Terrence Ferguson no longer there and Tez Johnson's not there anymore either, Evan Stewart, unfortunately, out for the year, I think, with that ACL injury.
Was it it might have been a patellar tendon, which is even worse.
Was it? Yeah, that's
I'd have to check, but it's tough.
They're
situation.
gonna lean on Sadiq a lot, and we're gonna get a lot of volume from him, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. Jalen Kilgore comes in at number 31. He is the cornerback / I have him categorized as a nickel defender. Remember, guys, I have things broken up in a little bit more detail. I have separate cornerback rankings. I have man corners, I have zone corners, and then I have nickel defenders, as well as coverage safeties and box safeties. So I have those 5 categories where defensive backs can mainly find themselves. And Kilgore is one of those guys that, if you look at him on the depth chart, it says CB next to his name, but he's kind of built like a safety. He's not really built like a corner. He doesn't really play a lot of outside corner to him. Maybe he'll play a little bit more of that this upcoming season, but he's somebody who could defend the run well. He's got good athleticism. He's got plus strength for being a defensive back. To me, he's perfect for that nickel defender type of a role. He's sort of that tight end matchup neutralizer type of a player. And in my opinion, I'm not necessarily saying that he's better than Nicky Menwari yet, but I like Jalen Kilgore and how he translates to the NFL more than I liked Nicky Menwari. I felt like Nick sort of struggled around the box and defending the run and with tackling sometimes, and I don't really feel that way for Kilgore. And instead, I think that both those guys can defend in space decently well, especially against tight ends. So I'm a pretty big Jalen Kilgore fan. I think he is a really talented player.
All right, 30 to 21. This is where it's going to get real interesting to see who we think we agree and disagree who the top players are now going into the preseason, going into the regular season. 30 for me, Denzel Boston, the physical wide receiver out of Washington. 29 for me, a corner I really like in A.J. Harris for Penn State. I think A.J. Harris has all the tools to go even higher than this slot. 28, Carnell Tate. I still believe in the breakout year for Carnell Tate. I think
baby.
Yeah, I still see it. I understand. We talked about some of his shortcomings previously, but let's see what Carnell Tate can do this year. I like the talent, and once again, we had a long conversation with him about him during the wide receiver show, and I'm not wavering from that. 27 is my LB1, and that's C.J. Allen from Georgia.
C.J. Allen. I wondered if you would have Allen at LB1.
Allen's a demon against the run, an absolute demon, and this is NFL style football. The way he plays the run, I was really enjoyed watching his tape. The way his just see ball, get ball, run and chase, sideline to sideline, bang between the tackles. I was really impressed. 26, I had a feeling this is who you were mentioning when you said there was one center higher than you had Slaughter, right, as your center 2, you said?
Yes.
So Connor Lew, the center for Auburn. Well, yeah, I mean, this is pretty special stuff.
Dude,
with Connor Lew.
I'm so tempted. Full transparency, I have him at 30.
Yeah.
So I have him at 30. I wish I had him higher. Like I don't know what to say negatively about him.
Well, that was the whole Linderbaum conversation, right?
What doesn't he do well?
The Linderbaum combo was, I want to just keep ranking him higher and higher and higher because I think he's a great player. And I feel like that's going to kind of happen with Connor Lew over time.
There's a world where he's top 15 in my last.
Yeah, he has the movement skills and the pass protection ability.
Dude, and even like the little stuff. Like his base is super wide. He can get his butt all the way down. His back stays flat. His posture is fantastic. How he takes power is fantastic. Like What I don't know. It almost comes down to, I felt like I had him at 30 and I was like, okay, that's high enough for a center. But it's like, if I'm actually judging these guys on like how they are as a football player, this kid's a damn good one. I could see him ending up in my top 20 when it's all said and done. Maybe I'm a coward for not having him in my top 20.
Maybe I am too, because I have him at 26 and he's a hell of a player. 25, You mentioned him, Cassius Howell, the pass rusher on A&M. I thought this dude was awesome last year. There's an argument he was better at rushing the passer than all the guys that went to the NFL on this team. So Cassius Howell, I'm expecting pretty big things. 24, Francis Moingoa, the tackle on Miami. We had a lengthy, there's going to be a lot of tackles coming up in these next couple rankings. We talked about all of them. We can get back to it again because it's that kind of good of a group, but we'll rip through them. LT Overton, the big, heavy edge, really defensive end player from Alabama. This Alabama defensive line is loaded. 22, Xavier Chaplin, who is now at Auburn. He's a mammoth.
Ooh.
Yeah, the mammoth-sized offensive tackle. I mean, you know how much I liked him when we did that. But I will say Chaplin is one of those guys that, like, he could be picked in the top 20. Fast forward to the draft, he doesn't take the steps he needs to and doesn't improve on some of the things he needs to polish on, like the penalties. And he doesn't, that was the tackle from Texas last year. Oh, man. It's not obviously
Campbell.
Banks.
No.
Cam Williams?
Wait. No. Yes.
Yeah.
Cameron Williams. Yes.
Cameron Williams was that kind of guy that in the summer, like, I could see him going in the top 30. And people had some crazy things, like scouts and teams had some big praise for him. And you don't take the next step or you get exposed a little bit. So that Chaplin, that'll be big for Chaplin. And then 21, this is another guy that is kind of in no man's land because I liked his film a lot this summer. And with the expectations for him going into this year, it's going to be a big put up or shut up. Cade Klubnik, the quarterback for Clemson. So I had Klubnik at 21.
Okay. All right. Connor Lew starts my top 30 off. I've got him at number 30. Like I said, I'm a coward for having him at number 30. 29, I have Austin Barber, the offensive tackle from Florida. I just think he's a really, really solid player. Zone blocking scheme guy again. Florida does that really well. Him and Slaughter are, I think, two of the best on that offensive line. And I think that Barber is finesse game, I think, is really good for him. Sometimes I think he struggles with power. He's got to get a little bit better at that, and I think that might hold the key for him to be a back end of the first round type of an offensive tackle. But I think at the very least, early day 2 type of a guy, second round type of guy. I think he's shown that on his tape already. 28, I have Keldrick Falk, the edge rusher from Auburn. Really great run defender, great length, fantastic strength for the NFL level. It's just a matter of, can he be a better pass rusher? Does he have more in the tank, and does he have more in the repertoire other than just a long arm and a bull rush? Because that's basically all he had last year, and the reports are that he's kind of been in the lab. I'm very excited to see it. He's very physically gifted, so if he continues to show more pass rush moves, and not just trying them, but being successful with them, yeah, I mean, he's somebody who could absolutely be a middle of the first round type of a player with how gifted he is. 27, I have Caleb Banks, the defensive tackle from Florida. Really great one gap penetrating, 3 technique defensive tackle. Somebody who could really, if you are in a 4 down lineman attacking style defense, I mean, this guy is for you. If you want him to hold up against double teams and 2 gap all the time, it might be some mixed results, but if you get him in an attacking style defense, man, he knows how to shed blocks. He's got that strength to him. Plays a little high naturally because he's big, but hey, if you take the good with being big, you got to sometimes take the bad and not have the leverage naturally. But I think he's really strong, and I think he's certainly an NFL player. It just depends on where it's going to be. Back into the first round, second round, something like that. We'll see. 26, I have R. Mason Thomas, my boy. Just an absolute speed demon, bat out of hell the second the ball is snapped. He is a major bet that I am taking here early on in this draft cycle to say, like, hey, yeah, one-dimensional, but that dimension has so high of value when you can get into the backfield and get after the quarterback the way that he has the potential to. 25, Blake Miller, the offensive tackle from Clemson. I was a Blake Miller believer last year. I'm still a Blake Miller believer this year. And if I'm going to be the highest on Blake Miller, so be it. I would love to see him play a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger this upcoming season. But I'm not saying that he's Will Campbell, but there is too much there's too many shades of Will Campbell in how he plays for me to give up on this guy. And Campbell played with better power than Fisher did and Aaron Miller did, excuse me. But there's so much there. The patience, the footwork, the stance, the posture, like how he redirects his hands and resets, how he anticipates different rushers. You could tell that he studied all of them, how quickly his feet can move. There's so many good things about Blake Miller that I just can't give up on this guy. So I got him at number 25. Dylan Thieneman, the safety from Purdue, who is now at Oregon, who I think is a big-time playmaker on the back end. I have him at 24. This is somebody who the Purdue tape 2 years ago was phenomenal when they had him in a single high safety role. Last year, they were kind of moving him around. He played a little closer to the box. He played a little bit of nickel defender, and he just was not as impactful. I think that Oregon's now going to have him much more on that single high, go get the ball as it's in the air and defend deep type of a role. And that to me is very valuable because even though it's a too high world that we live in now at the NFL level, if you have the ability to change it up and go to, play cover 3, play cover 1, and have a lot of confidence about the single high safety that you got playing deep back there, that is very, very valuable. And I think Dylan Thieneman can be that. 23, I have Cade Klubnik as well, the quarterback from Clemson. 22, I have Denzel Boston, the wide receiver from Washington.
Nice.
And then at 21, I have Sam Leavitt from Arizona State. I am a big Sam Leavitt guy, one of the lowest turnover-worthy play rates last year. Now, he didn't have to throw the ball a lot, and so with more throwing this year with no Cam Scattaboo, we'll see if that turnover-worthy play rate can stay lower. But even though he's a little bit smaller of a quarterback, boy, is his arm live. I love Sam Leavitt. I'm a big fan of everything that he brings to the table. I hope he plays this year confidently because I think he can really take the next step and be a heck of an NFL prospect.
I think that ranking shows how high this show is on Denzel Boston. I mean, clearly he's both a top 30 player for us and in line for just a really, really big-time season.
Wide receiver 4 for me overall, and my number 1 X on the line of scrimmage.
He is wide receiver 3 for me. So, yeah. So you have a couple left to get through.
I do. Hey, before we get into your top 20, got to talk to all the parents out there. Parenting is filled with high-pressure decisions. It can be difficult. So tell if we made the right choice for our kids' future. But here's a simple decision that you can make today that could have a meaningful impact on your kids' future, and that is opening a UGMA Kids Investment Account with Fabric to start their investment journey and give them a financial head start. Fabric by Gerber Life was designed by parents for parents to make it easy to plan for and manage your family's financial path. With a kids investment account for Fabric, you can start investing in your child's future today. While your kids can't invest while they're minors, this UGMA Kids Investment Account allows you to invest on their behalf. Gives their investments so much more time to grow. Funds can be used on anything. It can be tuition, books, summer camp, after-school activities when they're younger. And then when they're adults, maybe you're helping them buy their first house, first car, start a business, whatever that looks like. It's all online. Setting up an account can take you as little as just 5 minutes. Get started with as little as $1 a day. And then you manage your child's account and monitor those investments right from your phone. No contribution limits to it. Tax advantages. Funds are SIPC insured up to $500,000. No commission fees to it. Just a low flat monthly maintenance fee. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their family. Start investing in your child's future today at meetfabric.com/stock exchange. That's meetfabric.com/stock exchange. MEET fabric.com/stock exchange. Portfolios are managed by Fort Washington Investment Advisors Incorporated. All additional services provided by Apex Clearing Corporation. All investing is subject to risk. Learn more at meetfabric.com. All right, 20 to 11. Fire away.
20 to 11, some big boppers here. 20, the man.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
A big bopper?
What's it like kids use like bop?
No, not like that. Not like the trend going on. Like a big bopper is like a big brawler, like a heavyweight. Like,
oh, okay. All right.
God, dude. You're so on TikTok, it's insane.
Look, I got to keep up with the kids. We got to try to get this marketing money from somewhere.
I waved the white flag. Number 20, Big Citrus, Dominique Orange, defensive lineman, Iowa State. 19, I was kind of surprised how high I have this guy because I don't really fall into this big of projections too often at this position. But Kenyon Sadiq at Oregon, you highlighted it all, Trevor. It's just all there for him. I mean, it's just he's gonna get the target share he needs. He's a freakish athlete. I think what sold me on it is that I do like him as a blocker more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I was
At
like,
least the effort's there from
the effort and the tenacity is there, and the fact that he had a spring weight of 245, it's going in the right direction for this guy to really, really blossom into what everybody thinks he could be.
It's kind of really hard right now to not be high on Kenyon Sadiq. Like, I think that if you ask draft analysts who have watched him and have watched a sample size of enough just players, I can't imagine anyone has him, even with his low production, like outside of their top 60. It's so hard to not be high on what
he's dripping with traits at the position. So
right. And then if you're scouting and only looking at what they did last season, then I don't think you're actually scouting the way that you need to be to do this job. So, anyways,
18. This is kind of a boring one, but Christian Miller at Georgia, the defensive lineman.
Oh, you got him all the way up to 18.
Yeah. You said like we know what he is, and I'm like, yeah, he's really good at not only playing with like strength and defending the run, but I think we'll see some more pass rush this year. I do. I think there'll be more on his plate to kind of expand that. Number 17, Keldrick Falk at Auburn. I mean, he's got the size and the strength, and you mentioned him developing some new pass rush moves that would really take his game to the next level. 16, this is somebody that will probably be higher for most people, but Caden Proctor, the tackle at Alabama.
Okay.
Once again, maybe we do circle back on him for this show, but broke down some of the things that he needs to work on the tackles episode. 15, David Bailey, the pass rusher from Stanford to Texas Tech. I just think he's like my R. Mason Thomas.
He is. Yes. It is. I love that you and I are just planting the flag on guys who it's like, yep, they do one thing well.
Right.
Nope, don't care.
That is me with David Bailey. David Bailey is just a menace when he can pin his ears back and get after the quarterback. 14, another guy that I'm just betting on the traits, Isaiah World, the offensive tackle now at Oregon. I love the traits. I think he's going to get the development he needs there. This is what a franchise tackle physically should look like. Let's see what the coaching does for him. 13, this is my favorite player in the draft in terms of just having a guy. It's Xavier Scott, the cornerback at Illinois.
You have him 13?
I think Xavier Scott.
Oh, you're a madman, and I love you for it. Holy shit.
I think he is a defensive weapon. And even so, Friday night.
You do think he's Devon Witherspoon. You got him 13.
He's not that guy in coverage yet, but in terms of wreaking havoc, he is. Yeah. He is that guy. We have our Friday night game at NBC is Illinois against Western Illinois. And whenever I'm allowed to talk on the pregame show, I'm just talking about Xavier Scott. So
open the mic.
My mic. I'm screaming it so loud you hear me on other mics. Oh, man. Great television.
That's good for week one. They're going to be like,
yeah, I'll last 1 week on the show this year. 12. The tight end 1 of the show, Max Clare at Ohio State now, which, when I had him here, I was like, is this a little high? But then he's just one of the better players I watched this summer. So I was like, no, don't overthink this. Have Max Clare in the top 15. And then 11, a guy that's working his way back from injury, Jermod McCoy, the cornerback, Tennessee. He's a really good player.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, this is a player that I was, actually, I don't know. Did you watch Trey Wilson? I can't remember if you did, from Florida.
No.
I don't think you did.
Let me check.
So I have Trey Wilson 20. I don't think that you watched him when we did the wide receiver episode. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's unbelievable, man.
I have like 700 notes on him.
Oh, so you just hate him?
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly where I had him. I did have him as wide receiver 16. I'm sorry. I like that you're cool, though, and you call him Trey. Not his name, which is Eugene. His name is Eugene.
Why don't you watch TikToks one time?
That's why when you said, did you watch Trey Wilson? I froze like, oh my God, he has a player in his top 20 that I didn't watch. And then I'm like, oh, you mean Eugene? Wide receiver 16? Yes, I watched Eugene. Yeah.
No, it's the Bruce Wayne to Batman alter ego. When he puts on the helmet, he becomes Trey Wilson.
All right.
When he's in the classroom, getting his degree in aerospace engineering. I have no idea if that's what he's studying.
Oh, man. Go ahead.
Anyways, I think that Eugene Wilson III, a.k.a. Trey, I think he's got phenomenal movement skills. I really do. He was hurt last year, and I think that you could tell even when he was out there, it just was not the same. The quarterback carousel, I think, did not help really either. But I do think that it's a really talented wide receiver room in Florida this year. They got a couple of young guys as well who are going to get into the mix. But a fully healthy Trey Wilson, I think is a difference-making wide receiver. I really do. I think that he is his skill set, his movement skills, his twitch, all of that is so fantastic for a flanker type of a wide receiver that could play inside and out for you, get yards after catch, be a great route runner, create a ton of separation. And so if we really do see the best version of him, I think we are talking about a difference-making wide receiver. I really do. I like him a lot. Max Clare, tight end 1 in this class. I have him. Oh, wait. Francis Mauigoa, the offensive tackle from Miami. I have it.
There he is.
Right before him. 18, I have Max Clare, tight end 1 in this class. 17, I have Garrett Nussmeier, the quarterback from LSU. Somebody
disrespect.
Who, if Nussmeier, God, calm down over there. I got him top 20. I've got him top 20.
Just compare him to Matt Corral while you're at it.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like Matt Corral.
I was just trying to think of a quarterback from the class we discussed earlier. And I was
yeah, I'd put Garrett Nussmeier right in front of Matt Corral. Yeah. And by right in front, I mean probably by about 30 rankings. Yeah, I think that Garrett Nussmeier is a gunslinger. He's so much fun to watch. There is a path for him to be a top 10 quarterback. No, there's no question about it. In fact, I think I have Drew Aller, whose name I'm going to say here in a second as well. If one of Drew Aller or Garrett Nussmeier comes out of last year's class, they're QB2. One of those two guys gets drafted after Cam Ward. I fully believe that. I really do. So I think that he's got a great arm. He's a little undersized for the position, but it doesn't seem to affect his arm strength too much. It's just a matter of, can the big time throw rate stay up while the turnover worthy play rate stay down? That's sort of where I'm at with Garrett Nussmeier, but he is a ton of fun, and he could absolutely not just be a first round pick type of a quarterback, but somebody that we talk about in the top 10. 16, I got Ruben Maine Jr. From Miami. Edge rusher, defensive tackle. I think he can play a lot of those different positions. I wasn't exactly sure where to put him on this list, and then I went back and I watched another full game of him, and even though he's not built like an edge rusher when it comes to arm length, he's not built like a defensive tackle when it comes to overall weight, he's just really good at getting in the backfield. He is. I mean, I love the hand usage, the hand speed. He's working on all different types of pass rush moves. He defends the run with a lot of pride. Like, he's just a really damn good football player. Yeah. And so I still wanted to have him pretty high on this list, so I got him to 16. I think he could be a really good NFL player. Caden Proctor, you mentioned having him. I think you had him at, 16 or 17?
Yeah,
I have him
15. Yep, 16.
So,
okay.
I wonder if he's a guard at the NFL level.
Right.
I really do.
Yeah.
But I still think he could be a difference-making offensive lineman, whether it's a tackle or even if it's guard, which is not the last time that we will have that conversation. 14, I have Caleb Lomu from Utah.
There it is.
I get it. Like, it's not quite there yet. He's got to gain some weight. Got to play stronger. Got to anticipate a little bit better. Hand timing, hand placement, just all of that needs to get better. But this guy moves the way that you want him to move. And I think I think he has the ability to be a starting offensive tackle in the NFL. I just love everything that he brings to the table, and I hope he plays a little bit stronger this year because I think we see a hell of a player if he does. 13, Avion Terrell, the cornerback from Clemson. Small, but man, it's hard to not love what he brings to the table. He's got the NFL bloodlines with his brother, AJ Terrell, playing in the NFL. You could tell that he has an NFL brother because, man, he prepares that way, and I know that for a fact because I see it on tape. I don't even need to be in the building at Clemson to know this guy watches tape. He anticipates really well. He's got great instincts, great breaking on the ball. He's just really small. He's a really small corner, so we're going to have that conversation plenty throughout the year. Drew Aller, the quarterback from Penn State, I have him at number 12. I agree with you completely. He's got to play better in bigger games. when the lights are brightest, he needs to play his best this upcoming season, and Penn State is going to have the opportunity to once again play in a ton of big games, and I think they are a college football playoff team again this season. He will have the chance for his redemption in some of those big games. But quietly, he's had back-to-back seasons where he's had above an 82 PFF passing grade. I mean, like, he got better last year. The beginning part of last season, we were talking about him as QB1 in last year's class for how well he was playing. The physical ability is all there for him. And to be fair to Drew Aller, he was better last year than what he was the previous year.
Right, that's exactly right.
So if he gets better in 2025, I think we're going to like the prospect that we have. I am sort of afraid that he gets the Bo Nix treatment where even if he gets better, are people going to accept that given that he has been disappointing, I think, for the better part of the last year and a half. There have been games where he showed up, but like you said, the big games that Penn State plays, his reputation is that he doesn't show up when they really need him to in those moments. So I just wonder if he gets the Bo Nix treatment, because we saw what happened with Nix. Nix got way better at Oregon than what he was at Auburn, and people didn't give him the credit for it, and that lasted all the way throughout the draft cycle. And Nix played very well as a rookie, and I think Nix is going to play really well in his second year in the NFL too. So I think that we might have a similar situation there. But anyways, just the overall, he checks all the boxes physically for an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to put him lower than this. So I got him at 12. And then Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State. I have him at number 11. One of the best route runners that we have in the class. One of the best intermediate receivers that we have in the class. Just an all-around really nice wide receiver that we've got for 2026.
Yeah, I love Jordan Tyson. He's going to be in my final group here. Want me to just go 10-1?
10-1. Go ahead.
10-1. So 10 for me, I have Caleb Banks from Florida at 10.
Ooh!
I don't know. Is that, that kind of all of a sudden feels a little juicy here.
I think that's juicy. Having him at 10, I think that's juicy.
Man, he's got these long arms, massive frame, huge hands. He's quick off the ball at that size. Like, you should not be quick off the ball at that size. Like you said, the pad level you got to keep an eye on. But when it's right, that pure power and strength to disrupt the pocket, I was a big fan of Caleb Banks. 9, Ruben Bain Jr., the pass rusher from Miami. He's not everybody's going to buy into him like this, but he is absolutely one of those players that is a bigger built edge, like thicker built edge. And when you just look at going back to the freshman year tape of what this guy was able to do in that 2023 season, he could take over. He could really, really take over. So I saw moments from him that gave me some Jared Verse, where I was like, oh, man, loved me some Jared Verse, and that's worked out really well for the Rams. Yeah, I don't think he's that level of a prospect. Yeah, I don't think he's the level of a prospect Verse was going into his final college season when it was a surprise he went back to school, but still, really, really impressive reps. 8, Garrett Nussmeier, the quarterback at LSU. It's going to be funny watching how people view him, because he's not going to give you rushing, but I just love his big arm mentality. Like he'll hunt the big play. He's fearless. He's smart. 7, one of the best players in the entire draft in the entire nation, and Jeremiah Love, the running back in Notre Dame. I mean, he's a one-man wrecking crew. 6, TJ Parker, my top edge pass rusher in this class out of Clemson. 5, Jordan Tyson, my top wide receiver in this class at Arizona State. You talked about how silky he is. He could be a number 1 wide receiver in an NFL offense when healthy. 4, Spencer Fano, my top offensive tackle out of Utah, just buries people. 3, Arch Manning, my top quarterback out of Texas. We'll ultimately see not only how Arch plays this year, but if he decides to enter the NFL draft. 2, Caleb Downs, the safety at Ohio State, who very much has the argument as the best player right now in this draft. But that honor goes to Peter Woods, the defensive lineman out of Clemson, who he doesn't need to because they got so much talent, but he could be a one-man wreck the game presence in the middle on that Clemson team.
Yeah, the top 5, maybe more of the top 4, I think are awesome. I can't wait to just watch them play this season. No, there's not. They're just really good football players, man. And there's a lot of good football players here. There is one in my top 10 that you did not list.
In my top 50.
In your top 50.
Ooh, I'm very interested in this.
At least I think, unless I missed him a second ago. Who was your go top 10 really quick?
My top 10 was Caleb Banks, Ruben Bain Jr., Garrett Nussmeier, Jeremiah Love, TJ Parker, Jordan Tyson, Spencer Fano, Arch Manning, Caleb Downs, Peter Woods. Okay,
yeah, there is one guy that I have here. Number 10, I have Mekhi Lemon, my boy.
Yeah, he was your guy during the wide receiver episode.
My wide receiver 1 going into the year, a separation artist, somebody who, he's a slot wide receiver, but man, he's a deadly one. Like the conversations with him, in my opinion, are similar to the way that we talk about Jackson Smith-Njigba, and I wonder if he has more twitch than Jackson Smith-Njigba. Now, that's not to say I'm saying like, oh, he's a better prospect. Like they're just a little bit different, where Lemon has a little bit more twitchiness in how he moves, whereas I think Jackson Smith-Njigba is a little bit more build-up speed, a little bit more of like rounded routes, but he just does it so well, and it gets him in positions to be a yards after catch monster as well. So I think the similar conversation, though, about those guys being in the slot and absolutely dominating. 9 is Jennings Dunker for me, from Iowa. Did you watch him, right?
Yeah, I watched him.
So
because I watched him for our tackle show, and then I was like, I don't.
So I want to be very clear here. I think he's a guard. I think I am ranking him as a guard, but this dude is such an ass kicker.
Yeah.
He had an elite PFF run blocking grade last season. I think we could see a similar performance for him, which would be back-to-back years of elite run blocking grade. I mean, he is a spit and vinegar, run straight through you, through the whistle, carry you to the sideline and out of the stadium type of blocker. He's got vice grips for hands. He's an absolute bull. The leverage that he plays with is fantastic. He just plays tackle for Iowa, and he just doesn't have the arm length to play tackle in the NFL. No. But when you kick him inside, you don't have to worry about any of that. And instead, you just get all the phenomenal returns. He could be a zone blocking player for you. He could be a polar and power concepts. I think this dude is a stud. I love Jennings Dunker. So, yeah, got him at 9.
I like the bold take. But yeah, he's definitely a guard prospect. I thought Jack Sawyer gave him a little bit of a hard time last year when I watched that tape this summer, but he's definitely a position change guy at the next level.
I think that when you put him inside, it mitigates a lot of the things that you would worry about with him, and I instead just think he could be a phenomenal guard. Number 8, I have Jeremiah Love, the running back out of Notre Dame. As you mentioned, one of the best playmakers in this class. 7, I have Jermon McCoy. I know, like, he's coming back from the ACL. We got to see it, but
Tape's the tape.
I don't know if anybody covered Ryan Williams better last year than Jermon McCoy, especially in that first half. Williams got a couple of catches on him in the second half, but man, that first half against Williams, I don't think anybody played him better. And I think that's a first-round NFL wide receiver right there, too. Number 6 is the cornerback that I have slightly above Jermon McCoy. I think A.J. Harris is awesome.
Nice.
I love A.J. Harris.
Yeah, there's a lot to like with A.J. Harris.
Especially as a run defender, man. Like, when you talk about guys that are playing in man coverage schemes, a lot of times, like, you've got to be able to hold your own, and that not only means that you've got to be able to be sticky in coverage, but that also means that if you yield a catch, you've got to be able to bring somebody down, or there's going to be a lot of grass between them and the next closest defender. And I think that when it comes to tackling, also defending the run for things in front of him, when he is playing zone, he's fantastic. He does not have the ball production yet, but I don't think that's a lack of ability. I think that is much more of like hey, sometimes corners just don't get the opportunity for it. So I'm a big A.J. Harris guy. I have him at number 6 here. Number 5, TJ Parker, the edge rusher from Clemson. Number 4, his teammate, Peter Woods. Number 3, I have Spencer Fano, just an insane run blocker and somebody who I think has all the makings of a starting and impact offensive tackle in the NFL. Number 2, I have Arch Manning, kind of simply because he hasn't started a game yet. But then number 1, I have to go with Caleb Downs.
Yeah,
Caleb Downs is just, for him to have the resume that he already has as an impact starting defender, as a safety. a coverage safety, a box safety, a nickel defender, a pseudo linebacker, for Alabama as a true freshman, and then for the Ohio State national championship defense. The kid's got it all. He is at Ohio State, Connor, he had an above 80 grade in coverage, in run defense, in pass rush, and then obviously overall defense as well. It's just the communication from everything that we hear, the work ethic, the leadership. I don't think a safety will go number one.
Right.
I think the days of that are over. That will not happen. But much like, I think, did you have Genty number one in your, or did you have like Bijan like number two or so? Like, I remember you had a running back in your top three, and it's like, are those guys going to go top three in the draft? No. But that doesn't change who they are as football players on a big board as we're ranking them. So
I had Genty
that's
3.
sort of, so there you go. Yeah. And didn't you have Bijan super high too?
Probably.
I think
I had Saquon number 2 in his draft.
So it's sort of that similar conversation of where we're at there. But
yeah,
I love Caleb.
Talent is talent.
He is a pro through and through, and like you just said, talent is talent.
Caleb Downs is one of the best defenders I've ever watched in college football against screens.
Because he knows it's coming.
He has a sixth sense. He's urgent. He's got the proper athleticism, hip fluidity. He's physical. I love that he plays in the box, free safety, the slot, and all special teams units. Awesome football player. He'll be the classic case of, I don't know, someone takes him between the 9th and 12th picks, and everyone's like, well, they got a surefire all-pro. Connor Lew might be the same, by the way.
I know. Well, we're going to have Connor Lew at prospect 2 after this. It's going to be Caleb Downs, and it's going to go Connor Lew, and then Arch Manning. That's how the final big board.
3 players in this draft, by the way.
Who are the blue chip players? Yeah. A safety, a center, and a guy whose last name is Manning.
A guy with the greatest bloodlines in NFL history.
Yeah. Is it 3, of course. Anybody else you want to shout out? We had a couple that were just outside of your top 50. I don't know if you have a list up. I could shout out some guys as well if you're looking them up. But
Jonah Coleman, the running back at Washington, I really like. He was somebody that just missed that. There was a couple other ones here. I want to see what the Godfather, Dante Corleone, does, really healthy and right this year.
Sure.
Mateo Ulonglier, I know people are going to ask about him. You and I had a long combo of what he needs to get better at with the edge pass rush group, but you'll see him, I'm sure, on a lot of top 50 boards. He didn't make this one. I love that you had Dalen Everett in yours. I really like Dalen Everett, and he'd be a top 60 player for me as well.
Jonah Coleman, 62 for me.
Nice.
Mateo Uyunglele is 66. So those guys are kind of right there in that conversation. Again, if you guys want to see my big board, you can go see it over at pff.com. You can go to the big board tab, and the 255 is up there. I'll just, for fun, read 60 to 51 real quick. Nick Anderson, the wide receiver who was at Oklahoma and now at LSU. I'm a big believer in what he could be as a vertical stretching wide receiver. So I have him at 60. Nick Singleton, I have at 59. Your boy David Bailey, I got at 58. LLC. What was the what was the other L for?
Oh, no.
Long lad catcher. Yeah. LLC. Tanner Koziel, the tight end there. I have him at 57.
Christmas anywhere close?
Big Christmas is 79.
Yeah,
figured he'd be
in the top 100.
Yep. Gabe Yakis. Jackus.
Oh, man.
No, it's Akis. Gabe Akis, the edge rusher / I kind of think he might be a D tackle.
He's a large fella for an edge.
For Illinois.
Standing up.
Yeah, I have him at 56. LT Overton, I have at 55. Armaj Reed Adams, the interior offensive lineman for Texas A&M, I have him at 54. Malik Muhammad, the cornerback from Texas, I have at 53. Deontay Lawson is another linebacker I really like in this class. He played really well last year before he got hurt.
Him and Whit Weeks were part of the 5 or 6 that I liked that I watched already.
Weeks. Where is Weeks?
But you had York as well in that combo. York's really good. It's a good linebacker group, man.
Weeks is 84 for me. I have him 84. Kyle Luis, the will linebacker from Pittsburgh. Talk about guys who play with their hair on fire.
I got to watch him.
He's awesome. I have Luis 78. And then the last one, 51, CJ Fight, the defensive tackle from Arizona State.
Yep.
The way we talk about Christian Miller, basically the same way that you talk about CJ Fight.
Yeah.
Could put him on an NFL team. He'd be a rotational run stuffer for you today.
Yep.
It's just a matter of, does he develop as a passer?
Yeah, do you get
that
more?
That to me is what we got to see there. So there we go. There is the initial big board conversation that we have for the 2026 NFL draft. Of course, we would love to hear from you guys. Best way to do that, youtube.com/NFL Stock Exchange. Let us know in the comments. We would love to hear from you guys. This is obviously a big episode, a lot of names.
Special.
It is. It's a special episode. A lot of names. We would love to go back and forth with you guys in the comment section. Like I said, the big boards will sort of be changing. I'll get the predictive big board up so we can get up to 400 players that you guys can draft in the NBS, and we'll get that up soon. Hopefully next week. Speaking of next week, the hats are here. I'm going to be updating the Shopify link. The shipping is good to go, I think, with everything.
Wow, really saying it with your chest.
Look, we got to get going, but I do think that we've ironed out all of the issues that we had last time, and I'm pretty confident because we got a lot more hats this time. And so I know a lot of you guys missed out on the hats previously, but we got a lot more hats this time around. So hopefully, well, I don't know if I say hopefully everybody that wants a hat, because I hope 8 billion people on the planet want a hat.
Right, we'll keep making them.
Right. So if you got a burning desire to get a hat, we're going to have it for you next week. You guys are going to be able to buy those, and we'll get them out pretty quickly. But, yeah, I think next week we go to 2 episodes a week.
That's
very
right.
Excited about that.
It's time.
We got college football starting this weekend, which we're very excited about. Monday, we're going to, of course, do the way too early 2026 mock draft. So that's going to be coming for you Monday. We're going to start the season off with a mock draft Monday, of course. Cowboys fans, special hello to you. Now having 2 first-round picks.
Welcome to draft season.
Welcome to draft season for the next 2 years.
Oh, my goodness.
My God, how did this get... Anyways, so yeah, we're going to be doing our first-round mock draft of the season on Monday, and then on Wednesday is going to be the very first, stock watch. We're going to have college football.
Real week 1 action. And, I mean, could they give us more to talk about? I don't remember a week 1 with this kind of prospect.
Dude, it's going to be awesome.
Ohio
State plays Texas.
The fact that you have Ohio State playing Texas and you have LSU playing Clemson.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be sick.
It is awesome. And, I mean, listen, Western Illinois and Illinois is Friday night on NBC.
I was just about to
Michigan
say,
is on Saturday.
I was just about to say, Connor, in case you guys have missed it throughout other episodes, Connor's going to be doing college football coverage for NBC this year. Brother, tell the people where they can watch you this weekend.
Thank you, man. I'm really excited. It's my first year being a part of it for the whole season. I filled in a couple times last year, very briefly, but we have a great crew for our Big Ten countdown show, our pregame show. Basically every Saturday we're on at 7. We have plenty of doubleheaders, though. Sometimes we'll also be on at 3, 6:30, stuff on Peacock, but I'll be joining a really, really special crew. Ahmed Fareed, Chris Sims, Nicole Auerbach, Joshua Perry. I'll be joining them for a segment every single show, and we have a pretty sick schedule. Especially as a prospect guy, I can get excited for any Big Ten game because for me, I'm like the one. I don't care that Illinois, minus 47.5 against Western Illinois. I want to see Xavier Scott and Luke Altmaier and all the guys. So, yeah, thank you, man. It is a role that I'm really excited to be working Saturdays this year because it's different for me. It's going to put me, you and I do a stock show almost every week, so we're constantly watching college tape and college football. But this is the most immersed I will feel in college football since back in BR in 2018 or 19 when I traveled all the time for it. So It's going to be really, really cool. And here we go.
What times?
This week, Friday and Saturday will both be 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then that is on main NBC?
Saturday is always on main NBC. Friday, I think, is our Peacock special.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure.
You're too good,
buddy. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to watch you kill it with college football coverage as well.
Gone.
Yeah. Xavier Scott makes like Xavier Scott makes like a common like gang tackle, like 4 guys, and you're just hammering the button. You're just like, open the mic.
None of you listen to me. They're like, dude, relax.
Well, on the NFLSE Big Board show.
Yeah. It was a special episode. If any of you watched it. Oh, God.
Every episode is special.
Everyone
we get to
is.
do this stuff for you guys. We appreciate all of you. We will see you guys. Well, you'll see Connor this weekend because all you guys are going to watch the NBC numbers, and we got to pump those numbers up for our boy. But we will also see you guys on Monday. Very excited about that. Enjoy college football. Enjoy the weekend. For Connor Rogers, I'm Trevor Sikkema saying thank you guys so much for watching the NFL Stock Exchange Show. See you guys next week.